I wanted to highlight a couple tools in this tutorial that I think would be especially useful to you to create some interesting effects and shapes in Illustrator. So first off, I wanted to talk about the width tool, which is here in the transformation tool section, the very first one, and then I'll talk about the shape tool directly underneath that. So let's say to demonstrate this width tool, I want to do something simple where maybe I draw out a letter. Let me just draw an A with the pen tool, create something that's custom, that's unique, and has a couple different strokes on it so that I can demonstrate this. So, and this will be pretty quick because there's not a lot to it, but it can do a lot for you once you get used to it. So let me click the pen tool here. So with the pen tool selected, I'll just make sure I have no fill and a stroke, and I'll make the stroke maybe 3 or 4 just so I can see it. I'm just going to come on down here and draw out a letter A. And now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just use curved lines. Now if you want to have your shape made up of different curved lines, what you can do is draw on here, and then you can always come up to a select and deselect, and then you can kind of see where you are. Okay, so I clicked up here at the top, and now I'll come down here, maybe add a curve, some sort of a big sweeping curve right here. And I can come up and do a select, deselect, and then I could just cross this over here. Okay, now the width of the stroke here is all the same, not very interesting. What I'll do now is come over here to the width tool, select that, and now each of these paths that I have on here, each of these lines and strokes, I can click and I can drag. Okay, and that's going to let me change the width of the line in different places, and you can get some really interesting effects that way. So you can just experiment with it and see, what it can do. Click down here, and then you can add this one. So hopefully that gives you some idea of just changing around the different widths of the strokes that you have on there to create some different effects. Okay, now other thing I want to show you is the ShapeBuilder tool. Let me just get rid of that. Let's say you want to draw the easiest shape that I can think of, which would be like a snowman. So you'd be making that shape with the circle with the ellipse tool. So I'll click the ellipse tool here, and let me just draw 3 circles on here. And I'll draw one, and then if you want to draw another one, you can, or if you want to use the option key, come over here to your selection tool, option key, click and drag and copy that, and then click and drag and copy that again, and then you can come back and change the size of those. So I'll make those a little bit bigger and adjust them. Remember, hold the shift key down to get a perfect circle. A lot of different ways to do this, but this is a pretty simple one right here. So you have a general snowman shape that you've drawn. Now these are 3 different circles that are separate of each other. Let's say you want to go ahead and combine those into one shape. So it's kind of like a custom shape. It's pretty easy to do. Just select all 3 of them. So I'll grab my selection tool, select all 3 of them, grab the ShapeBuilder tool, okay, ShapeBuilder right here, and then just simply drag. So you click on the first one, click and drag. Notice how that connects every shape that you want there. Okay, it looks just like that. Now when I come away from it, it's one shape that I've drawn. And if I know this is a simple example, but imagine if you tried to draw that shape yourself, with the pen tool or shapes here, it would be hard to do that. So the ShapeBuilder lets you create some really interesting effects and all combined into one shape.